What's going on, peeps? If you're a hip-hop listener who scrolls through TikTok and YouTube Shorts all day, there's a pretty high chance you've run into these two pair of faces. Whether you see them spitting out surprising facts within the rap genre, or giving their 2 cents on a specific topic, or straight up arguing with each other, they've been pretty hard to avoid. This is the NFR Podcast, hosted by Luca and Anthony, a popular podcast-style channel with 1 million followers on TikTok, as well as 200,000 subscribers on 2 separate YouTube channels. Thanks to their smart use of YouTube Shorts, they've been able to skyrocket into the algorithm and completely dominate all other hip-hop podcasts. Now, you may know a whole lot about their takes on music, but does anybody really know who they are and how they got this far? What is their secret? Today, I'll be discussing why you see NFR Podcast basically everywhere you search. The NFR Podcast was founded during January 2019 by Anthony Paul Delizio and Luca Guarini in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Luca and Anthony have been longtime best friends that happen to be massive fans of the hip-hop genre. Before the start of NFR, they were attending college, with Luca earning a master's degree in healthcare administration and Anthony earned a digital marketing certification. His father, Mike, is also an experienced marketer and manager, likely providing him with advice on how to manage his future venture. This venture began when they would park their cars in some random parking lot in Montreal and have various album listening parties. In a group of 3 to 4 people, they started discussing the music and found themselves all deeply connected to it in some way. It inspired them to pursue the creation of a platform where they talk about music and see what type of audience they'll find. The podcast launch was influenced by this earlier effort. With respect to the same topic, covering hip-hop music, the initial plan was to provide a digital forum for talking about all aspects of the musical subgenre as a subterm hobby. It was a big joke at first that they hardly took seriously. It was all being recorded in Luca's basement. When the notion of podcasting was brought up, things changed, and the NFR, or Not For Radio podcast, was born. It started off as an audio-only podcast during early 2019, producing monthly 40 to 50 minute episodes under the Not For Radio podcast name. They were inspired by other podcasts such as the Joe Rogan Experience and Dead End Hip Hop. They'd publish their podcast episodes on practically every podcast airing website you could find, like Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Alltel, Listen Notes, and many more. The earliest episode is shown to be a 2018 recap surrounding hip-hop, airing on January 17th, 2019 through TuneIn. However, the audio refuses to play for some reason. The first public and working episode aired on March 24th, discussing the Eazy-E murder conspiracy. These early podcasts would generate a good 50 viewers an episode. They tried out several different projects like interviewing local artists in Montreal and Toronto. It would help them develop their skills in journalism and artistry. Spreading the word around their podcast was going to be a slow process, but they were up for the chase. Putting together such a massive channel could be tough to manage with just 2 people, leading to these two reaching out to some of their classmates and best friends to help manage their social media and market their content. Bruno Tassone joined the team in July 2019 to become their social media manager. Nick Nudo would also be recruited in November as a behind-the-scenes kind of person, usually holding the camera and handling the production end of things. All of them knowing each other surely provided the team's effort with comfort, knowing that they are all on the same page and know what they want. It took over a year for the duo and their team to truly perfect their craft as a podcast in Quebec. Despite this style of content not having the most widespread appeal, they took it as a stage to practice for the future they would soon have. 2020 was the year they truly went all out to get the word around as the pandemic loomed over the globe. This period gave the group even more time to work on this project and encouraged them to make this podcast their full-time career. They learned about being consistent, enhancing their quality, and improving overall. They weren't going to make it where they wanted if they didn't take these factors into consideration. The group developed a decent following on Instagram and participated in Twitter Spaces. After being satisfied with their quality, they wanted to take their content to the next level: video. They wanted to advance from their once audio-driven content to a more video-stylistic format. This would definitely work out in their favor, as it would give them more of an outlet to connect with users through larger platforms like YouTube and TikTok. Firstly, they needed some type of studio that wasn't their parents' basement. Lucky for them, they ran into Mark Saynoge, who owns a studio in the suburbs of Montreal called Longueuil. Their partner, Nick's father, was able to get connected with Mark, who introduced him to the studio on an ordinary Friday night. They learned a lot through this process in terms of production style, content quality, and creativity. They officially started making podcast videos on November 13th, 2020. Switching to videos helped them build their brand to the status they've always wanted. The initial backdrop was just two dudes inside of a white brick room and a wood floor with classic rap albums hanging up. They sat at a wooden table alongside their microphones and laptops connected to this multi-camera setup. There was also a monitor in the middle where they would be able to see their special guest. The same week, they created their official TikTok account to begin uploading clips to that platform. They had Luca Fagella, who joined the team back in April as their content manager. He had the responsibility to create, particularly on Twitter, interesting information about subjects relating to the hip-hop music. He'd also prepare content for YouTube and other social media sites like TikTok. This was all in an effort to promote the NFR brand using a variety of social media marketing strategies. While these guys are big hip-hop heads at heart, they certainly aren't just a bunch of idiots. They understand the algorithm and how to market their content. This would lead to their first viral clip on January 9th, 2021, while discussing the possibility of Tupac faking his death and moving to Cuba. The clip produced 13 million views and earned them 1 million likes. Following their podcast questioning if Drake will make another classic album out of Certified Lover Boy in January 2021, they stopped uploading full-length podcast episodes onto streaming platforms, instead focusing on cutting down into clips to upload to their YouTube and TikTok platforms. The goal was to post these clips on TikTok and then somehow lead the most curious users to the full-length episode on their YouTube channel. Soon the TikTok clips were averaging hundreds of thousands of views per clip. It certainly helped that they were posting 3 to 5 times every day, totaling to 21 a week, boosting them further into the hip-hop algorithm. I'd even credit them as pioneers for this style of content, which led to even more podcasts around the world incorporating shorts and reels. January was a life-changing month for the group. They were part of the 5% most listened to podcasts on Listen Notes. They'd also grow their following through Twitter and produce a monthly special Dead Wrong where they spoke with their community on topics they chose. They admired the fact that they were able to be the ones that put a large audience onto new music and observations, having a community to discuss the thing they love the most, hip-hop. The content creators could also learn a thing or two surrounding the rap climate from their audience. Positivity and quality are two primary focuses for this team. They want to be seen as one of the most accessible hip-hop platforms out there. A lot of these clips contain fun facts, guessing games, or ranking and debating topics that circulate rap. The intent is to question and challenge the viewer on their hip-hop trivia. Our goal is to connect the world to hip-hop, as we like to say. Not only this, but to do it in a positive light. NFR is all about spreading positivity through the art we love. We feel as if this is the best way to connect with people who share similar interests and create such a strong community. Big shout to On the Rise and Medium for getting this quote from the team. In terms of Canadian podcasts, they're one of the biggest in the scene, all thanks to the smart use of shorts. The views did start to dwindle a bit during April, but noticeably picked up once they upgraded their production. Towards later April, they moved into their own new studio that had better lighting, camera quality, microphone quality, and a much more home-like backdrop filled with classic rap records nailed to wooden walls. It was certainly more professional and gave the team a official look. This would only lead to more members joining the group like Connor O'Grady, who was their social media manager at the time. He helped grow their Twitter from 5,000 to 37,000 followers with daily posts that interested hip-hop heads and developed a community. He designed unique graphics specifically for the music and entertainment media that was posted, while utilizing Microsoft Excel to gather and analyze tweet metrics to increase post impressions on Twitter. He was also responsible for repackaging YouTube and Patreon content to reach a larger audience. Marco Basante provided assistance in this area too, becoming their main editor. Throughout the year of 2021, they earned 600,000 TikTok followers, 50,000 subs on YouTube, and became one of the top 40 most listened to podcasts in America. The biggest achievement of all was being followed by Drake during September, which they described as a very cool moment. They say it was just very cool, but we all know they're freaking out, let's be honest. There isn't a whole lot of history to cover beyond NFR being consistent and it paying off with milestones. 2022 was yet again another great year, helped by taking advantage of YouTube's own shorts format with the creation of their second channel. I want to break down why this format has been so important for the growth of their brand. Consistency is a factor that has been brought up several times in this video. The more content you put out on apps like TikTok TikTok and YouTube, the more you get rewarded. The group adapting to the shorts climate was a smart idea to gain their initial following because they just weren't big enough to pull off 40 to 50 minute podcasts and get the results they wanted. They first needed to lure the audience in with clips that can encourage someone to check out the full episode, subscribe, or watch another clip. It can go either way. Audience retention is pretty important too. If you're able to keep somebody engaged with the content long enough, it's going to get promoted more. How do they do it? When they discuss these topics, they try to tell a story or name off a bunch of artists who, for example, replace themselves at number 1. This is the type of content you want to stay till the end to hear each one and learn a few quick facts. This can lead to the audience interacting with the content, giving their opinion on the matter, and if NFR asks their community, for example, what are they going to be listening to tonight in hip-hop, they'll leave a comment. The more comments, the more likes, and shares will lead to the video spreading. It might seem very simple, but it's actually tough to nail down a format that will incorporate all these elements. It can take a lot of time and effort to map out what works, how you can get people to do this stuff effectively. The NFR Podcast, with their team of experienced digital marketers, have done it effectively and are now one of the biggest online podcasts in the world. And just like that, 1 million TikTok followers on January 7th, 2023. 2023 seems to be heading in the right direction, gaining more followers and likes than ever before. They even got to collaborate with the most famous music nerd, Anthony Fantano, and were featured on Complex magazine as next up in hip-hop media. It seems like shorts involving Producer Tag, Eminem, and new music dropping tonight seems to get them millions of views. They also returned to putting their full-length podcast episodes on streaming services again. A bit of a full circle moment there. Thank you for watching this video where I explained why you pretty much see the NFR Podcast a lot. I enjoy their humorous and engaging content, so I thought it'd be interesting to see how far they had come, from your everyday nerdy college students to your everyday nerdy hip-hop podcast. Make sure to share this video with them. I'd love to see them feel grateful for their wild journey to stardom. If there's a chance I missed something in this video, let me know. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.